Okay, so yesterday Nvidia was gracious enough to actually give us smooth motion frames, which is a driver level frame generation to the 40 series GPUs. But there's a caveat. You have to be on the latest drivers, and I know that everybody with 40 series and 50 series and 30 series basically 40 series and 50 series are the most infected with this plague. Latest drivers always be like black screens and crashes and shit like that. So I know that everybody is hesitated, but for you to actually have this smooth motion frames, driver level frame generation, you have to be on the latest drivers. This is the one caveat. And the second one is, for me, and I think Asian Gameplays as well had the same problem. I'm not really sure, but I think I saw him opt in to access beta and experimental features as well. And then for me, it's the same thing, I think. And then I could see the smooth motion frames into the drivers and into the games. So for example, if you have, let's say, God of War, Cyberpunk, I mean, God of War doesn't have frame generation, but you can have frame generation right now. For God of War, even though it doesn't have an integrated frame generation module for the DLSS in the game, right? It's a driver level, just the same as AMD fluid motion frames. This is smooth motion frames for Nvidia. Basically, for games that have frame generation like Cyberpunk, you could have 4x frame generation, same as 50 series. You could have smooth motion frames enabled in the drivers, and then you could use frame generation in the game and have frame generation 4x. Basically, it's going to be less a little bit because I think it's not the same as frame generation that's integrated into the game, but it's going to be in the ballpark between... it's not going to be that far off. As you can see, like all these games, Watch Dogs, Apex Legends, Death Stranding, Borderlands 2, all these games don't have any don't have any frame generation, not DLSS, not XCSS, not AMD FSR frame generation, but now you could have it. So first of all, I think I'm gonna try Cyberpunk because it's the heaviest title. Let's go and see where Cyberpunk should be right here. And for now, I'm keeping it off. I'm gonna start with off to see how the game behaves without any frame generation, and then enable frame generation that's into the game, and then see lossless scaling and this smooth motion frames in action to see which one is better. And yeah, so let's take a look. Okay, so this is how Cyberpunk runs without, and let's go through the graphics first. Performance, DLSS, of course, ray reconstruction, no frame generation for now, no path tracing because I'm not going to be using path tracing, but everything else is like maxed out except for motion blur. I think I turned it off. Yeah, motion blur is turned off, but everything is maxed out. And I'm going to keep this area as my benchmark area. Let's reset the averages because they went to 500 FPS. Right now, as you can see, between 95 to I think 100 FPS with maxed out ray tracing, only DLSS performance, and no path tracing. It drops down to low 90s, as you can see. Probably is gonna go to like 100 or something like that. And yeah, low 90s. This is pretty much, you know, playable FPS, very playable FPS for this game. Looking very gorgeous, actually, even without path tracing. This game. Oh, and actually, I am using actual, you know, mods and stuff for this game. So this is not really like the basic stock FPS. You're gonna be getting more than me because I'm, you know, modding the game. I have like this, you know, all these mods installed that actually affect performance. But if you're not using any mods, you wouldn't, you know, expect to have this kind of same FPS that I... Why is the car too slow to turn? Okay. Right now, let's stop right here and go and enable frame generation that's in the game, right? And frame generation that's in the game actually works pretty good. I mean, frame generation into the game is not really that bad. It's like 150 FPS. It goes like 165 sometimes. Not pretty, you know, not bad. I don't see any perceptible latency because again, this is not 4x frame generation. It's only 2x frame generation. And yeah, I think this is something wrong with the car. There's definitely something wrong with the car. It doesn't want to really... It doesn't do those sharp turns anymore. I think I'm gonna have to restart the game for it to be unbugged. And as you can see, the 1% loads are a bit of a problem because the frame rate counter is getting confused with you know, frame rates and stuff like that. So it doesn't really capture the 1% lows correctly. As you can see, it's pretty good, running pretty good. Let's get out of the car. What did I even do? I wasn't even running. Okay, so as you can see, the LSS frame generation that's inside the game. Let me just zoom in right here. Where is it? Right here. Okay, so it doesn't really affect any hard elements. So like, for example, this reticle just a little bit gets a little bit, you know, shimmery or blurry, like it's like ghosted. What the fuck? This guy is dead. This guy's gonna die right now. This guy is gonna die. Of course, nobody's gonna fucking hit me and just get away with it. All right, so and as you can see, it's, you know, running pretty good. Even though this HUD as well doesn't have any big artifacting. This HUD as well doesn't have any big artifacting. This is, you know, integrated into the game. It uses the actual information from the game. So right now, let's restart the game and see how frame generation, driver level frame generation works. Okay, right now with smooth motion frames, let me just go and make sure that there's no frame generation. There's no frame generation into the game. The settings are still the same, as you can see. Everything is maxed out. Frame generation turned off, path rate turned off, and everything is still maxed out. I have 150 FPS, which is a little bit less than, you know, the integrated frame generation that was in the game, but still pretty impressive. No perceived latency, nothing like that. Now the car can make, you know, sharp turns like this. For example, it wasn't able to make them when I was playing the first playthrough. But as you can see, 150 FPS, still impressive. I don't see any artifacting like lossless scaling, because let me just zoom in. Like this area under the car usually gets a lot of artifacting with lossless scaling, but here it doesn't appear to be having any artifacting. So, you know, it's pretty good. It's pretty impressive to be like the driver level that does the same thing basically as lossless scaling, but does it better. I'm gonna be trying lossless scaling as well. Just after this, I'm gonna be trying lossless scaling. Okay, this guy's not gonna go. I'm gonna go. As you can see, it's the same kind of, a little bit less than the integrated frame generation that's in the game, but you know, still impressive nonetheless. 150 FPS. But now I can do something else even better. I can have 4x frame generation just by enabling frame generation that's in the game, right? And as you can see, there's a hit to latency. I'm not gonna lie, I can feel that there's a hit to latency, but I went from 145 FPS to like 155 FPS now to 228 FPS, which is fucking crazy. And the 1% lows are a little bit higher than, you know, when you're using just frame generation that's in the game. But again, like, this is frame generation on top of frame generation. So I'm gonna get out, right? I'm gonna get out of the car. Let me just stop right here. Let me just get out of the car. Let's just pull out a gun, right? Let's just pull out a gun. And as you can see, there's some artifacting, you know, as per usual. Let me just disable frame generation. Disable frame generation from here. Keep only the smooth motion frames. But as you can see, let me just zoom in on this. As you can see, there's a lot of artifacting with the reticle. Basically, this is the only thing that artifacts. Like, as you can see, the motion, I mean, the character model does not really artifact. The gun does not really artifact. This HUD right here, this HUD element, where's the zoom button? Right, like, HUD element right here doesn't really artifact. This one here, like, doesn't really artifact. Only the reticle, which is like right here, let me just zoom on it as well. It does artifact a bit too much. But yeah, this is, you know, expected. I think even with the one that when you ADS, as you can see, even when you ADS the center dot, it does artifact with this smooth motion frames. But again, let me just enable frame generation on top of it to see if it's like there's any heavy latency. I could feel it a little bit. I could actually feel it when I was driving, and as well I could feel it now. Like there's a hit to latency with this approach. It's worse than 4x, because with 4x it's like, it's very minimal. Somebody hit me again. What the fuck is going on? He just hit me and like ran away. Look at him. Look at this motherfucker. All right, so with 4x frame generation, you couldn't really tell the difference. If like, you have to be like very sensitive to latency to tell the difference. But with this one, you can't tell. You know, I mean, I can't tell. You know, but it's not really that big of an impact that's gonna, you know, break the game immersion or anything like that. Accident. All right, so let's zoom out and let's actually restart the game, and let me see if frame generation is still in. Let's restart the game and use lossless scaling this time. Okay, so we're back to 98 FPS, so 97, 98 FPS, and right now let's use lossless scaling, which is going to be Control S, and then it's going to flicker a little bit. And as you can see, let me just zoom in on the lossless scaling. I hope you can see this, like 72. It dropped my FPS from 97 to 72, just to double that to 140 FPS. So as you can see, lossless scaling has a little bit of an overhead that needs to be fixed. With Nvidia's smooth motion frames, it doesn't really suffer as much of an overhead as lossless scaling does. Right now it's 70 FPS. Base frame rate is still pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, it's still pretty good. It's still playable. You're not gonna notice any perceptible frame generation, you know, latency or anything like that. But sometimes, now it's like 120. With frame generation, with smooth motion frames, it never, ever dropped to 128 FPS. It stayed like in 140 FPS to 155 FPS, and it didn't have a lot of artifacting, except for the reticle, right? Right now, let's just zoom in on the spot that I told you that it has a lot of artifacting right here. So let's see if it's gonna artifact. Okay, so it's a little bit hazy. It's not really that much worse than it was before. I think they fixed it. So yeah, it doesn't artifact that much with driving the car, but still, the amount of FPS that's outputting, it's way less than smooth motion frames. But again, if you don't have a 40 series GPUs, what else you can do? Like, lossless scaling is a good alternative that actually does have frame generation, but it just has a little bit of an overhead to it. So yeah, this is how it works with lossless scaling. So yeah, be that what it may, but I don't like lossless scaling. I really don't like it. It's like very overrated. So yeah, let's try another game with smooth motion frames and with lossless scaling as well. Now I'm gonna try a game that doesn't have frame generation, so we can see the difference between the two. Okay, now it's Watch Dogs 2, which is a game that when Ubisoft used to know how to make games. Right now, let me just go through the graphics. I think it's gonna be in video. As you can see, 4K. Quality is gonna be like, everything is set to the maximum, like even extra details at 100%. Motion blur is off, and I'm using TXA. I think, where is it? Yeah, TXA 4X, which is still a little bit demanding, but hey, this game needs it. Right, so as you can see right now, it's 70 FPS, drops to like 69, something like that. Let me just steal that bike. Let's just steal the bike, and it's a sunny day, so let's go for a drive. The camera is pretty fucking sensitive, so I'm gonna have to stop touching the mouse. And as you can see, the game actually giving me like respectable FPS. This is a good looking fucking game. This is when Ubisoft used to know how to make games, right? Let me just go and through the Golden Gate Bridge. Keep going, and keep going. Drops 60 FPS right now. Even on the 4090, this game is still demanding because I'm using the maximum settings, which are not really optimized. Now it's dropping below 60 FPS, which is not pretty good. If you want to enable frame generation, you need above 60 FPS. The 1% lows are still not bad. They're trailing behind, but still not bad. So yeah, as you can see, the game, plays. Sometimes it goes below 60 FPS, but it plays pretty well. It's not bad. The game is pretty good looking. This is one of the best games that Ubisoft made, but they forgot how to make games. This is, I think, the last game that they made that was a hit, and they forgot how to make games. So right now, right, let's just quit the game and actually go and see how the game actually works with smooth motion frames. Again, all you have to do, for example, Watch Dogs, go smooth motion frames and select on, and voila, it's done. Okay, before we started like with the, what was it, like 72 FPS, it drops to 60 FPS. Now we're starting to 120 FPS. They dropped to like 100 and teens. But oh, there's no bike anymore. I'm gonna have to steal a car then. Let's see, this looks like a Volkswagen. Let's just steal it and just yeah, just go. Gonna have to turn off her computer. Oh shit, I can, yeah, I can distract her. I can overheat her phone. Okay. It didn't distract her from, oh shit. They calling, oh no. The call got cut off. Alright, so 120 FPS. I got so immersed in the fucking game, so I forgive me if I forgot to benchmark the smooth motion frames. Alright, 120 FPS from like 70 to 60 to 70 FPS. It did drop to 50s. I'm gonna go to the tunnel and see how it drops, if it's gonna drop to the 50s. Again, I mean, it's not gonna drop to the 50s, but it's gonna drop to hundreds, I think, which it's doing right now. And as you can see, the game's still above 100 FPS. Now it's like in the 98 kind of range. 90, wow. All right, the game is pretty heavy in that tunnel, but as we get out of the tunnel, it goes above 100 FPS again. And as you can see, the game's pretty responsive. It's not really that bad. I can, you know, there's no motion artifacting or anything like that, except for the reticle again. Like, the reticle is the only thing that the game the smooth motion frames cannot really resolve. As you can see, the reticle, let me just zoom in on it. Where is that? I cannot see it. Right here, like it looks a little bit bigger, but yeah, it's a faint reticle with this game, just like Red Dead Redemption. It's like a small dot, but as you can see, it's artifacting. So yeah, this is it is what it is. Like, let me just see if I can. I don't think that I can zoom further. So yeah, this is a good technology, a great technology, but it's just like lossless scaling, right? But it's a little bit better, but just like lossless scaling, it's gonna have artifacting and stuff like that. So right now, let's quit the game again and try lossless scaling instead. Okay, we're back right now with Watch Dogs without any more smooth motion frames, but I have lossless scaling launched. So let's just click on the hotkey. As you can see right now, 70 FPS. Let's click on the hotkey and see the game being, as you can see on the overlay on the top. I had like 70 FPS. Now it's 59, 58 FPS, and it's, you know, doubling that to like 117. I think I can feel. I'm not really, you know, I'm not gonna say like there's a heavy performance hit to the latency, but I can feel a little bit of a latency here. And as you can see, 58 FPS or like 50 FPS is not really good for, you know, lossless scaling, and thus resulting in or concluding in smooth motion frames being better than lossless scaling in everything that's it's doing. Aside from, like, lossless scaling is better because it can work on any application, but for games I don't really like it because it has a big overhead. It drops performance, like it halves your performance to double your frames. And as you can see right now, I mean, the game playing pretty good. I mean, 100 FPS, not 100 FPS. It dropped to like 98, I think, when I got out of the tunnel, because that was a very bright tunnel opening. And yeah, so yeah, as you can see, lossless scaling, frame generation, smooth motion frames, they all behave differently, but the superior way is to have frame generation natively into the game. The second step for me is going to be like smooth motion frames if you have a 40 series GPU, and then the last resort is lossless scaling. If you have like a 1060 or like a 1080 and a game that you want to play does not have frame generation from FSR, or like Nvidia, because even if it has Nvidia's DLSS frame generation and you don't have a 40 series GPU or a 50 series GPU, you can mod it in, and then use it with your 10 or like 20 or like 30 series GPU. But yeah, lossless scaling for me is like the last resort, and Nvidia smooth motion frames is pretty good. The one thing that I don't like about it is that you have to restart the game every time you want to you know, enable it or disable it. But other than that, it's pretty good. You know, thumbs up for me. I like the technology. I wouldn't really use it unless the game does not really have frame generation. It's a newer game, because all these games that I, you know, unless I want to replay one of these games like Uncharted, like this one, like Assassin's Creed, games before like Odyssey, don't have DLSS or frame generation, I'm not going to be using smooth motion frames. But hey, there are people who are going to use it. There are people who play games that don't have frame generation and want frame generation. For example, in like Apex Legends, Valorant, or like any game that, multiplayer game that doesn't have frame generation. And it's a good really solution to have. So yeah, this has been great to see. Catch you in the next video. Subscribe, because video games are the shit. And like the video if you like it, dislike if you dislike it, and subscribe to help the channel. Comment on you know, your thoughts between these frame generation mods, you know, frame generation integrated into the game, or smooth motion frames, or like lossless scaling. Which one you prefer to use? Which one do you use? And yeah, catch you in the next video. Ciao.